These are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age. Everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Big AI companies like Anthropic and OpenAI are making plans to start trading publicly, a major milestone for the emerging tech. But as the space continues to grow, so do the number of skeptics worried about its safety. This week, we focus on a conversation on Bloomberg with Safiya Noble. She's a prominent black scholar who spent time focusing on AI's impact on people from underrepresented communities. Noble says that despite Wall Street's interest in AI, corporate America might be shifting away from it, at least as it currently exists.
We've been seeing studies where companies are saying that it's more expensive for them to use these chatbots because human beings have to check the efficacy and the reliability.
Safiya Noble is a professor at UCLA and director of the school's Center on Resilience and Digital Justice. And she's got a best-selling book, Algorithms of Oppression. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
You can never have too many tools. Shop DeWalt deals at Lowe's. Get a free Select DeWalt 20-volt max power tool when you buy a Select 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery kit. Plus, get a free additional DeWalt 20-volt max 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a DeWalt 10-inch 20-volt max dual-bevel compounded miter saw. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, June 15th, 2026. I used to operate under this impression. I thought it was real. Turns out it was fake. It was a myth. I used to believe that white people were afraid to come into the black community because they might get robbed or shot or stabbed. And I really believe that because maybe I was paying a little too much attention to their commentary on news stories that involve something taking place on the north side of the city of Milwaukee. And they will talk about how they used to go to that neighborhood, and many years ago their grandparents lived off of 35th and Valete, and they can recall when a lot of north side neighborhoods were predominantly Jewish or predominantly white, and they'll talk about and they'll reminisce on, oh, the neighborhood has gone downhill. They'll talk about some deli that used to be on the corner of 27th and Locust. It's almost like they're describing a whole different world from the north side of the Milwaukee that they used to remember. But the way they talk about it now, you would think that they would never step foot, and they will say as much. I would never go to that neighborhood. So much crime and so much violence. And I believed it. And I used to, in a very unusual way, would think that we were relatively safe from the worst of them coming into our north side neighborhoods and bothering us and terrorizing us. And we would be free from like their little militia marches that they may do and their little Klan rallies. Because sometimes they do that, at least in other parts of the country. But because there's such a negative connotation or a negative stereotype about the north side of the city of Milwaukee, and they would always comment on how terrible it is and how crime-ridden it is, that we wouldn't have to worry about them adding on to the plethora of problems that we see every single day. And we don't need more problems. I used to find a weird kind of solace in the fact that based on someone's ignorance, and these are the people that we don't want in our neighborhood anyway, because they wouldn't do much good. But I used to take and find some solace in that. The people that we don't want, the biggest naysayers, oftentimes the most racist people that say the most egregious things, they'll talk about absent fathers, and they'll talk about the joblessness. And of course, they're talking about the crime. They'll talk about the reckless driving. Oh, I would never go to the north side of the city of Milwaukee because I might get my car stolen, which is true. You might. But if that is a deterrent from them, the naysayers, from coming and bothering us, then I'm actually okay with that because we don't need their distraction. For a long time, up until very recently, I believe that to be true. And also, it's meted out in my anecdotal evidence. If I'm riding around the north side of the city of Milwaukee, I don't see a lot of whites. And if I do, it's the kind of whites you expect to see on the north side. You know what I'm saying? It's not the suburban flavored whites. I don't know how these whites are flavored. You also have a lot of the dirty whites that'll stand on boulevards near very busy intersection, and they do this thing called flying signs. Hungry, need the food, and they're very dirty, dirt on their faces. It's like they have coal dust smudged on their faces, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no coal around here. Where'd you get that coal dust on your face? Unless it's makeup to make them look even more sad. Well, those are usually the kinds that you see, and I assume that they are from out of town because a lot of times when you see the whites, the dirty whites, and they're always wearing white pants for some reason. I'm like, that is the wrong color of pants, sir. Shows your dirt. I figure they're from out of town because they should know you're not going to get any money standing on the corner of 175 in Lisbon. You're in the wrong place to be looking for donations. So I assume that they're from somewhere else. Because a lot of times, you know what they do? They hop on trains, cargo trains that are going from state to state. Sometimes those trains slow down to where they can just hop on one of those box cars and they just travel. They're just in there with the livestock or whatever is in the train, and then they'll go to another city and they'll fly their signs looking for food. Hungry, will do anything for food. And when they say anything, I believe they mean it because their knees didn't get dirty by accident. So we're not starting the show off. I told Xavier today might be a bonnet show. I might put my bonnet on because we're going to go there today. I had a lot of time to think over the weekend. I had a relaxing weekend. I got some good rest. I chilled out. I was supposed to have a Thought Friday. That didn't work out the way I had planned, so I turned my Thought Friday into an Introspective Friday. I was trying real hard to thought it up, but it didn't work out so good. So had time to think, and I'm going to put together what I hope is an informative show that moves the needle a little bit, but also gives us a different perspective that white people are not afraid of the black community. For some reason, they may promote that they are, and maybe that's a part of this big negative PR scam that the black community is not worth investing in. It is not worth bringing jobs to, because when you have so many people, a lot of people, creating this narrative online that the black community, it's awful, it's terrible, it's despicable, it's crime-ridden, it's not worth anything, the property values are low, the schools are low performing, and that is a very consistent narrative. If you don't know anything about Milwaukee, and you may want to start looking around our local news articles to get an understanding of what stories are making the headlines in our city, and you may go on social media and read the commentary of folks, most of whom don't live in the city of Milwaukee, but they certainly have a lot to say about it. You may adopt that same philosophy about this city if you're just reading those comments, but it's also not unlike any other former industrial manufacturing powerhouse city that lost a lot of those manufacturing jobs. And so white people are not nearly as afraid to come into our communities and our neighborhoods as we may think. The other part about this, and I want to kind of dig into this at some point during the show, we have said for a long time we want manufacturing jobs to come back because in years past, manufacturing jobs provided the best opportunities for growth, for employment, for stable wages. And then what do we have? We had home ownership. We had a lot of other smaller businesses in the area and in the neighborhood where you have that mainstay of manufacturing employment. Because if I go to A.O. Smith every single day and I'm making a decent amount of money for the time, then I can shop at the grocery store. I can go to the pharmacy. I can get my clothes dry cleaned. And all those other small businesses may also be owned by people in that community. So it's an entire ecosystem. But when that mainstay of employment leaves, your Tower Automotives and your A.O. Smiths and your Alice Chalmers or whatever the case may be, all of those other businesses that are supported by the incomes that come from that manufacturer, well, all of that stuff completely goes away. We have not re-envisioned what manufacturing looks like in the 21st century. You're not going to be working on an assembly line. That stuff is dead. You're not going to be working in the same kind of plant that your grandpappy worked in because that stuff is dead. And let me tell you why. Because if you hired a bunch of people to do that kind of productivity, that kind of production work, like assembly line work, you'd be lucky if you could even run an assembly line for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Because you know what people do? People call in sick. People argue with the manager. People no call, no show. People are argumentative and don't get along with their coworkers, and all of that stuff can stop production. If you just take a snapshot of what is happening on any given day in the city of Milwaukee, any part of town, the arguments, the fights, and the disagreements, those would be the exact same people that would be working in close proximity to one another at a job site, and they would fight and they would argue too. A lot of that stuff has been replaced by robots. Because robots are not going to fight, they're not going to argue, they're not going to call in sick. Now, there still will be people needed, there still will be labor needed, but it's not like it was. And so we never thought for a second that the manufacturing jobs that we want to come back because they're nostalgic for us, because they were mainstays of employment many, many decades ago in Milwaukee. And also, we had a different social climate. The social culture was different. Kids were more well-behaved. Respect was a non-negotiable pillar that people instilled in their children. Now respect is gone. It's exhausting hearing many people say, we got to come together as a community. We got to come together. I can't come together with anyone who does not appreciate and understand respect. Even if I don't know you, I got to have a level of respect for you. Hell, I even got to have a level of respect for my enemies. There is zero respect. There's also no consequence for having no respect. It's just, it is what it is. And so for those people that think in some fantasy world that we're all going to come together, if people don't have, if they were not, it wasn't instilled in them, their entire developmental environment, their entire childhood, their adolescence, their teen years, that respect is something that you must have for everyone, and there will be no coming together. So in the 21st century, manufacturing it'll exist. It'll be dramatically scaled down. It'll be very automated. It'll be very robotic. Now, it still will employ people, but the skill set those people need to have to work in these manufacturing plants and assembly line plants that we have wanted to come back for so long, they need a whole different skill set. Sometimes manufacturing looks like building a computer storage facility at Midtown. Sometimes that's what it looks like. Manufacturing data, because that's manufacturing too. We're not making car parts anymore. All that stuff is done in China or Mexico or Canada. So that old way is gone. Sometimes manufacturing is a meat packing plant called Strauss that was slated to be at Century City. But people didn't like that kind of manufacturing because, it's not like the old manufacturing. Let me be clear. The old way that we are nostalgic about, where people had good paying jobs and the community was safe and people owned their homes, it's gone. The only place it lives is in our minds. So 21st century manufacturing is going to look very different. And here's the problem. We're opposed to all of it. I'm going to get into some details as to why development is so incredibly hard on the north side, yet people continue to ask for it, and they get it, then reject it. And I do want to go back in time. So when I come back from this break, we're going to go back to the year 2019. This also is relating to our YouTube poll question, which I'm hoping is up or will be up soon, right? X, did you get the YouTube poll question asking people if they're animal rights activists? It'll be up soon. I'm curious. It may sound like an unorthodox question to ask, folks, but we're going to ask you in a little while via YouTube. If you haven't done so already, search 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Hit subscribe. You'll be able to view the in-studio camera of the show, participate in the YouTube chat, and answer our poll question of the day. Would you consider yourself an animal rights activist? No, this really is relevant because first of all, I'm curious. But I want to know how many animal rights activists there are out there and that listen to and participate in this show. Back to what I said at the beginning, white people are not afraid to come into the black community and argue and protest and yell and scream about a development project. And they will be very clear in their mission to make sure that black people who live in that neighborhood don't even get information about that development project because they're not afraid of the black people that will go to an information meeting, to a town hall meeting, because those folks are not going to be armed. They're not going to have guns. If you go to a town hall meeting to discuss a proposal, something that's put on by the alderman, the people that are there they're residents, they're citizens. They're not bringing guns, right? So white people know that. But here's the real reason why white folks feel comfortable showing up in the middle of our community. When you think that they are afraid of black people and afraid of the black community, if we are unarmed and if we are unarmed with knowledge, that's where they come in and can feel comfortable because they know that if they go to these town hall meetings and they cut up, they're disrespectful, they're rude, they shout people down, and they are mostly Caucasian. And they have zero fear whatsoever, but it almost seems counterintuitive. You may say, but Sherwin, they say so many terrible things about the black community and how dangerous it is. They are afraid of a particular subset of African Americans. They're afraid of the black people that aren't going to the town hall meetings. Because the ones that do go to the town hall meetings are usually passive. They don't have guns or they don't bring their guns with them because guns are not drawn at town hall meetings. Now, in Texas, they are. Now, Texas knows how to do a town hall meeting. You get a bunch of protesters and a couple of rabble-rousers in a Texas town hall meeting, everybody pulling out a .44 Magnum. but they know that they can invade our community, these white folks that otherwise you would think would be afraid and would stay away, because we are not armed with guns, nor are we armed with information, and they're taking advantage of both of those facts. That's got to stop. It's going to stop. Not doing that no more. You had a bunch of animal rights activists trying to convince black people that the meatpacking plant that would have created 500 good-paying jobs was a bad idea. When was the last time you saw an animal rights activist in the black community? I could see if they were involved, if they were engaged, if they had an office somewhere, if they were involved in other community endeavors. But an animal rights activist group of Peckerwoods will come into our community, tell us, no, this is a bad job. No, this is bad manufacturing. And we believe it, then the animal rights activists, and they go scatter and disappear. We're going to have to stop doing that now. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know dads, the ones who know how to build it all, grill it all, and fix it all while still taking the time to share it all. So show them how much you care with great Father's Day gifts for one-of-a-kind dads, like men's work and sport short-sleeve plaid shirts, just $19.99. And new at Blaine's, save $50 on the Milwaukee M18 leaf blower when you buy a qualifying Milwaukee line trimmer. Find value on the gift's hill value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dreamed of you this morning, then came the dawn, and I thought you were here with me. If you could only see how much I love you, you'd want to trust me.
Let's go back to October 19th, 2019. Strauss Brands pulled the plug on the proposed move to Milwaukee's Century City Development Zone near 30th Street and Capitol Drive. It's the old A.O. Smith site. We've so desperately wanted to reinvigorate manufacturing that we have lost sight that in the 21st century, manufacturing looks a lot different and involves different things than it did in the 20th century, back when we made everything. We don't make everything now. We only make a few things. And when those few things that we make want to relocate in a neighborhood where the employment is low and the wages are lower and the hopelessness is high, we at least got to hear them out. Now, the Strauss whole situation that came and went, the alderperson was intimidated by a talking head on radio and a bunch of people that did not have all the information, but oftentimes the meetings and the conversations that the community should have had were interrupted by animal rights activists. Not only do we let any white folks into our community, we just welcome them all. We welcome white folks in our community that we don't even have anything in common with. And some of us might still operate under the flawed assumption, oh, white people are afraid to come into the black community. Not when the black people are ignorant and unarmed. Oh, they love hanging out there because they don't have anything to worry, because they are going to overtalk and they're going to make themselves look like they have all the facts and they have all of the knowledge, and they can yell and scream and stomp their feet and be disrespectful in a black community where they otherwise would never want to be. But they're going to make sure that nothing comes to the black community, because it's not like these groups that come in and say, hey, we don't like this development, but here's what we are offering. And we got financing for it. Here are our renderings. Oh, we don't want, this computer storage facility over at Midtown, but here's what we are offering. It's the same thing. And it's amazing because this was recent history. These same groups, now you got the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which is mostly a gay rights group, coming in just like the animal rights activists did in 2019, and they're killing our manufacturing deals. Wait until I give you the details on how the creation of a job reduces property crime, violent crime, and homicide. For every job created, there is a measurable decrease in property crime, violent crime, and homicide. And I want you to think deep about this. We are not that far removed from an America where black people were 3/5 of a human being, and they still, deep in their soul, subconsciously, feel that way about us, because black folks that don't know any better, that are trying to get information and oftentimes are unarmed, are not intimidating. In fact, they are ripe to be taken advantage of, and it happened with Strauss, and it's going to happen again at Midtown. The Midtown project is likely going to get killed, and nothing is ever going to come there. And there's going to be another developer somewhere that wants to do something on the north side of the city of Milwaukee. And these same white folks from probably some other weird foreign alien group that we know nothing about, that we have no affiliation with whatsoever, is going to come in, overtalk our elected officials, not let us get the information. That project is going to die too. And now do you see why the north side looks the way it does? Bob, I'm going to need you to stay on task. If not, I'm going to move on very quickly. But go ahead, Bob. Good morning. How are you?
Hello, Sherwin. I don't know I just want to know what peckerwood means. I got to look for a dictionary and find out what it means, because that's what you said, and you said it so loosely.
Go look it up.
I got to look at a peckerwood. I mean, I got to look that up. I'll talk to you later. That's all I wanted to know. I thought you might know, and you can tell me.
Go look it up.
What it means.
Go look it up.
What it means.
Go look it up.
I'll look it up.
All right, then. Then call us back when you look it up. All right, then. Oh, don't tell me you got to look the word up. Then ask me what the word. Go look it up. I use vocabularies on this show. If you don't know the vocabulary, do I look like Merriam or Webster? Quote, it was our hope that Strauss Brand's move to Century City neighborhood would have created jobs, provided an economic boost, and inspired other businesses to follow suit, said Randy Strauss, the firm's president and CEO. We honor and respect the opinions of the community and don't want to make our home in a place where our presence would not be seen as a benefit. I'm just going back to history here because it's repeating itself in our community, because what we can't have is a desperate need and a desire for jobs, because we don't get to pick. That's the hard part. We don't, as residents, we don't get a sheet of bullet points. Hi, black people. these are all of the potential employers and developments that you have to choose from. Pick one and we will make sure it gets developed. That don't work that way. You know what kind of major risk and investment it is required to invest in the African American community? And most people don't want to do it. So developers don't use their own money. They got to go to a bank. And the bank will do a survey of the neighborhood and will say, you're not getting financing from us. So when the opportunities come, and I'm not saying you got to accept every opportunity, but at least hear them out and don't allow our community to get shouted down by people that are essentially coming in with their own agenda to bully our folks because they're not afraid of black folks who are ignorant. Slavery kind of was able to persist because we were not literate. It thrived off of our ignorance, and they're doing the same thing. We are letting these folks who've always tried to run roughshod over our progress come in and do the exact same thing. Now, here's the problem. Harriet even said it. She said, I would have freed more if they knew they were slaves. You over here got black folks yelling and screaming and chanting with the Party for Socialism and Liberation, a bunch of blue and pink-haired white folks from God knows where. Just like you had the animal rights activists that were telling black people, slaughterhouses are cruel and it's not nice to animals. Do you know how delicious a bone-in ribeye is? I mean, I know a cow is like a gigantic pet dog, but they're delicious. A bone-in ribeye is so good that we'll go to restaurants and spend more than $100 a plate to eat a bone-in ribeye to celebrate. But then an animal rights activist and a group of them will come in and say, no to these 500 jobs are going to give opportunity that's going to allow another generation of young people to see their mothers and their fathers going to work and working hard and bringing home a wage. We don't want you to see that because it's a slaughterhouse. One of these knock-kneed fools even quoted as saying, if you put a slaughterhouse in the black community, a lot of people are going to get PTSD. I don't get PTSD when I bite into a McDouble. I get PTSD when I'm down to my last bite. I'm like, oh no, it's almost gone. They're literally coming into our house and taking advantage of the fact that we're unarmed and we're ignorant. We're unarmed with guns and we're unarmed with knowledge. Now, I'm not saying bring guns, but that's the reason why they choose the places that they choose in the black community, because they're not going anywhere else, because they know that, some black people will leave these white folks where they find them. But they know if they come to a place where black people are seeking information and seeking knowledge, we're arriving at that place as black people, not knowledgeable. They are knowledgeable on us and on what their agenda is. And I'm not going to let these people bat 1,000, because when it's all said and done, no development is going to come. And they're fighting progress in the black community. Isn't that wild? And we're allowing it. And are wondering why we have the crime rates and the homicide rates. I saw a video on the internet of a fight at a high school graduation. Good Lord. I don't know who was fighting, but I'm thinking to myself, there's not many opportunities for friends and family and community to come together to celebrate. And I know some of these young people had a tough go at it. That's why we go so nuts at these graduations, because some of these mamas and these daddies had to go through hell and high water to get their kids across that stage. And it's a great moment of joy. Sometimes people get a little bit too animated. So if your son or daughter is walking across the stage, and we know you brought all your friends and your family and all your coworkers and your cousins and your ex-baby mamas and your new baby mamas and your past baby mamas and your future baby mamas, you're bringing everybody to the graduation. So many baby mamas. There's a baby mama section. There's a VIP baby daddy section. There's all sorts of sections. And you're yelling and screaming like, yeah, Dontrell, yeah. And then the parents can't hear the next name being called. That's why you got to hold your applause until the end, but y'all don't care. Real quick story, then I got to take a break because I'm a little troubled by this. I graduated from college a very, very long time ago. A lot of my family, they must have thought I couldn't do it. My whole family came to my college graduation. Now, I was the first. of my grandmother's grandchildren to get a 4-year degree. So it was a big deal. And I'm lucky because UW Milwaukee, where I graduated from, our graduation was in May. My cousin Terrence, he also was graduating from college that same summer, but he went to Harvard. His graduation was in June. So I beat the Harvard graduate as far as being the first one of my grandmother's grandchildren to get a bachelor's degree conferred. And so everybody came. Grandmother came, my uncles, my aunts, everybody, both sides of the family. My friends came. So when they called my name, I just you black out because I was on stage and it was such a surreal moment. And I remember walking up to the chancellor at the time. Her name was Nancy Zimpher. And I remember looking at her, and you do this thing where you shake hands with one hand and you grab your diploma with the other hand. And I remember her saying, wow, you must have a lot of friends and family here. Apparently, all of the people that came to see me walk across that stage made so much noise that the dean said, wow, you must have a lot of people here. And it was at the damn UWM arena. It wasn't like it was a small venue. It was in a damn basketball arena. And I'm thinking to myself, it's still 25 plus years later. I'm like, wait a minute. Did y'all think I wasn't going to make it? That it was such a monumental moment that you had to scream and act up like a bunch of hooligans? I'm still troubled by that. And I appreciate the support, but damn, why you have to cut up like that to where the dean was like, my, she's probably thinking, wow, these people probably never thought he was going to, I wonder if he even learned how to read. They're very shocked that he graduated based upon the noise of these many blacks. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Educators Credit Union is more than a place to manage your money. They're where your financial possibilities take shape. They're more than transactions. They're conversations about your financial goals. More than numbers, they're community advocates who support free, local events that are accessible to all. They foster community because we are stronger together. Educators Credit Union is people helping people. Become a member at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Denied VA benefits or Social Security disability? Hurt on the job or an auto accident? Tayback Law fights for people who deserve better. Veterans benefits, Social Security, personal injury, and workers' comp. They don't stop fighting until you get what you're owed. And you don't pay unless they win. Get Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com. That's TABAK attorneys.com.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800 TELNICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The city would have sold approximately 20 acres of vacant city-owned land to Strauss for $1 and provided up to $4.5 million in property tax rebates to the company if it created 500 jobs. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the time, that was in 2019, I'm just doing a little refresher course on how we get these opportunities, somebody willing to take a risk and move a development into the north side, a big financial risk. It's a tremendous risk all around, but there's a high price that we have to pay to almost bribe and to coax a developer and a project to come to the neglected north side. So I want you to know that projects that can guarantee 500 jobs or more are really, really tough to get. And the city has to outlay a ton of resources and a ton of rebates and, quite honestly, legal bribes in order to facilitate these developments. And they're also very fragile because they're quite political. And because the people that live in those neighborhoods are so many years and decades removed from mainstay manufacturing jobs in the neighborhood, everything looks suspect and suspicious. And so there are other groups that do not have the black community's best interest in mind, because let's just say that they do. Let's say these animal rights activists or the Party for Socialism and Liberation has the black community's best interest in mind. Well, then what else have they done? What other plans have they set forward? What other volunteer work or whatever social involvement have they had over the years? And if you can't point to anything, and if these reasons, because there's development in our community, is the only reason why they're showing up, then that's what their interest is, to make sure the project gets killed. Now, I'm not saying that they are all malicious. I think some of them are followers. Some of them that are part of maybe the Party for Socialism and Liberation, that is going to follow whoever the executive director is. They're going to go to the next protest because they're very committed to all of the things that an organization does. And if some of those people that are in that group following the executive director of the organization says, we're going to go to Midtown and we're going to protest the data center, they're just going to go. The people in the neighborhood, be damned. The alderperson, be damned. And history, be damned. These folks don't know that it was outsiders like this that also killed the Strauss meatpacking plant, and some ignorance from some black folks as well. But if we can't see that they are taking advantage of our ignorance, then we deserve everything that we get. Also, there's no gatekeeper to the black community. We're just open. Anybody can come in at any time for whatever reason. You can't do that with any other community. Try that in Waukesha. Get a bunch of black folks that might have a very righteous cause. Go on out to a Germantown town hall meeting and disrupt it because you don't want a development to take place in Washington County, and see what happens to you. First of all, you're not going to be welcome. Second of all, you're going to be met with opposition by the people that live out there, but not us. Oh, we welcome everybody. Door be wide open. Come on in. Who are you? Don't matter. Who you represent? Come on in. And they're eating our lunch. You can't do that in any other community. But also, I think some black people, respect that, hey, I'm not affiliated with whatever they do out in Germantown. And we as black people may not like a development. There might be a development in Germantown that we may want here in the city of Milwaukee. So I could potentially see a group of Milwaukee activists going out there, making a bunch of noise and shouting down the people and developer out there in Germantown because we want to manufacture, pun intended, some kind of opposition to that project in Germantown with hopes that it comes to Milwaukee. But these people, when they come into our neighborhoods and our community and they shout down our electeds and they shout down people representing the mayor's office, it's not because they want the project in their community. They don't want us to have anything. because it keeps the black community open and ignorant. Because if we are starving for jobs and opportunity, then we're going to be initially open to anything that wants to invest where we live. Because nobody's investing in the black community. I just need y'all to know that. Not even us. And we have the nerve to get mad at the people that own our corner stores. Those are the only ones that want to invest. And Chinese people. A lot of Chinese restaurants in the black community. You ever wonder why that is? Why there's so many in the black community? They're kind of scattered throughout Milwaukee. You got some on the east side, but there's a disproportionate amount, not just here, but all over the country. Because white people didn't want those Chinese people in their neighborhoods selling food, but they allowed and permitted Chinese people to buy and to invest and get permits to have their restaurants in our communities. And this goes back better than 50 years, 60 years when Chinese immigrants were looking for business opportunities. And no, you can go in the black neighborhood. And what do Chinese restaurants do now? Now they fry chicken. You can't go to China and get no fried hard lemon pepper wings, but I bet you can if it's a Chinese restaurant in the black community. They should not be dictating what development comes in or comes out. And look, there can be legitimate opposition to a development because we're not supposed to accept just anything as a black community that is starving for opportunity and jobs and hopes. But let us make that decision. Let's not allow these other folks to come in and take advantage of the fact that we are unarmed with knowledge and unarmed with guns, because that's the only time they'll come to the black community. Like, these folks are not coming to stop car thefts or to stop homicide and stop violent crime. They're not doing any of that. They'll go to where honest, hardworking, curious residents want to find out about development, and they will crush that development, and we let them. And they're the worst kind of white folks, the ones with the pink hair. Come on. And you know, the big fat ones that always be wearing fishnets under their T-shirts and their bellies be hanging out, and they be wearing them cut-off jean shorts and like lace thigh highs and combat boots. Those are the white people you're letting come in and shout us down. Those white people aren't even liked by other white people. Got nose rings, lip rings, face be all pierced up, gauges in their ears. Like, good Lord, you're a hybrid. You're listening to the absolute 100% truth, and you know it's the truth, with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Spaces are limited. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
There's an article written about this situation. When young people have access to steady work and decent wages, property crime falls significantly, and violent crime falls along with it. And pause right there. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. Going to get a little more cerebral because there's a game within a game here that I don't think that we take enough time to analyze what's under the surface. I mean, like you can oppose a project, that's fine. But when and every project is not for every person. We seem to think that like we all have to agree wholeheartedly. We don't agree on anything. There are some people that actually want development, and I don't want those people, those voters and those residents that want the development, that knows somebody that needs a job, that wants that development. Because for some people, it would be a positive. I don't want their voices to be drowned out. Also, it should be noted, and I just want people to be aware. So with this current campaign season that we are in, a lot of these candidates are quite motivated to get your vote. And I may touch on the state Democratic convention that they had last weekend. I didn't go, but I had a lot of folks in the room and people were reporting back to me. I did have a conversation on Friday night with the Milwaukee County executive who did spend his weekend in Madison at the convention. So there are a group of people loosely affiliated with the folks that showed up at the Midtown meeting last week that are doing doors all throughout the city of Milwaukee on behalf of Francesca Hong. And they see Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley as the biggest opposition or challenge, the biggest threat to Francesca Hong's campaign. And rightfully so, David Crowley got elected here in Milwaukee County twice. So there are people affiliated with these socialists they're very much in our community and showing up where they're uninvited to oppose things that they have their reasons for opposing, not opposing them because it's a community wish. But they are telling people that David Crowley has sold out the black community. Wait, I get hot when it happens. I hate when white folks tell other black folks and call other black folks a sellout. Here's the problem. I remember when I used to get my door knocked on by candidates before I did radio and when I was dramatically less public with my day job, and they would knock on my door and like, hey, Sherwin, I'm running for office, or hey, I'm with the so-and-so campaign, and they would engage me in conversation. I'd always debate them, and I would take their literature, right? But now they don't come to my door no more. I wish somebody would, from whatever campaign, knock on my door and tell me, some white girl with pink hair wearing a too little T-shirt, belly hanging over her jean shorts, wearing some fishnet stockings and some Doc Marten boots. I wish somebody like that would come to my door and tell me the Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is a sellout. They don't never do that, though. I wish they would come to my house and knock. I'm a voter. Why don't y'all ever want to talk to me? They got their list, too, because they know how many times you voted. Like, okay, and you've got Paul Smith. Okay, let's go knock on his door. Okay, and then next door to Paul Smith, you got, oh, no, Sherwin Hughes. I see him. I see him skip my house. I see him. My Ring camera lights up because whenever somebody goes up to my neighbor's door, my camera on the side of my house is like, hey, ding, 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 ding. And I turn on, pull my phone. I'm like, ooh, they coming. I get to the door. I'm ready for them. I see them walk right past. I mean, I might be standing in my doorway naked, but don't worry about that. Everybody relax. That's fine. I'll cover my junk. I need both hands to cover it, though. Can't. You know what I mean? I can't cover it with one hand. It'll be some spillage. But they don't ever come to my house. Imagine 100 teenagers or young adults who are unemployed. If 20 or 30 of them gain legitimate jobs paying enough to make work worth showing up for, researchers find that there are fewer thefts, fewer burglaries. All this is proven. Fewer robberies. There are fewer arrests, fewer court cases, and fewer incarcerations when we have jobs in our community. Do you believe that we are at a place where we can start denying development because some outside group that is also essentially calling our county executive a sellout, telling a white person telling a black voter that your county executive is a sellout? That's a bridge too far. Now, I'm not thrilled with David Crowley's campaign, and he did not perform very well at the state convention and the straw poll, and I got some critiques on the speech that he gave. Again, I didn't listen to his speech, but there were folks that were there that reported back to me on his speech. It wasn't really all that impressive, but I'll be goddamned if you call him a sellout. You don't get to do that. Like, what is it about us that they think that they can just come here and just be so disrespectful to black people? And we're not pushing back on these people hard enough. And animal rights activists that came in and killed the Strauss meatpacking plant. We can actually draw a direct line between more property crime, more vehicle thefts, more shootings, more fatal and non-fatal shootings and homicides because that meatpacking plant did not get built. We have a direct line of increased crime in the community. And are we at a position where we can start denying development, knowing that when a few people have jobs, there is a measurable decrease in the crime that we complain about every single day? Let's go a little bit deeper in hour two. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Live the high life this summer and enjoy every moment with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life. If you've got the time, they've got the beer. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
You're listening to Milwaukee Black Talk on 101.7 FM.
The Truth.
And 1510 AM. W269DL. Milwaukee. A Milwaukee Black media company.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I started the program talking about this myth that I believed, that white folks are afraid of the black community because all the crime and the violence and the shootings and the car thefts, because that is what they make it seem to be. They talk very negatively about Milwaukee, all the horrible things that happen. You would think they wouldn't want to come here, but when there is information being disseminated. Are you getting a theme here? And black people, we can't be ignorant to this. They don't want us to have information. It's why it was illegal to teach slaves to read, because they didn't want us to have information and to be able to communicate and to formulate. That hasn't completely evaporated from their psyche. Milwaukee is such a perfect litmus test for all of the things racial in America, because we're still a very segregated city, and it looks and it feels that way. And segregation is not just geography. Oh, the blacks live here and the whites live there. Look at the literacy rates. Look at the employment rates. The juvenile detention rate. There's a large, gigantic piece of geography in the city. And I kind of drew this map in my mind. And so in the last 30 years, it's like a third of all the land. It's got to be 30 square miles. Now I'm going to give you the parameters of this very large chunk of the city of Milwaukee, which it used to be predominantly Caucasian. Then it was for, 25 years or so, very mixed, very middle class, very working class, but racially very integrated. And now it is probably 90% black. I call it the land that time forgot, like 30 square miles of city that over time has become majority black. And it is absolutely starving for resources. So let's say on the south, let's say Mill Road on the south. On the north, let's go all the way to County Line Road. That's a big chunk. Follow me now. Mill Road on the south, all the way north to County Line Road. The western boundary would be 107th Street. The eastern boundary would be 76th. You follow me? 76th Street on the east, 107th Street on the west, Mill Road on the south, and County Line on the north. The land that time forgot. Walmarts have even moved out of that area. A Target left, a Walgreens left, Northridge left. The most significant development in that, it's got to be 30, 35 square miles of city, is a youth prison that they're building on 79th and Clinton. Anybody checked on the youth prison? This should be done by now. It's taking forever to build that youth prison. It takes longer than a pot pie to bake in the oven. Why pot pie take an hour to bake in the oven? Why oven stuff takes so long but tastes so good? Got a frozen pizza. And for some reason, side note on food, frozen pizza might say bake at 400 degrees for 20 or 25 minutes. It takes longer than that. Oh, I like my pizza medium well. I need the cheese. I need it to be a little brown. I need some crisp, and I need a thin crust frozen pizza. Thin crust frozen pizza gets you right. Now, you show up with some DiGiorno, I'm going to DiGiorno your ass out my house. Why you want fat crust pizza? Why would you want that? Why you want big fat crust? It's like eating a loaf of bread. I'm scared to ask you what kind of pizza you like, Xavier, because you might hurt my feelings. Why you would want anything that is thicker than a cracker as your pizza crust? I don't understand. You got to eat the thin crust pizza, not talking about DiGiorno. DiGiorno don't know what you're talking about. Get your DiGiorno ass out of here. DiGiorno, are you sure? Let's get back to these details for y'all make me angry. How are we still letting white folks do this? When did they change to where they're now like good stewards of our future? When? What year was it? Was there a year? Did I miss it? Like, was I asleep? When they come into our community, it's for sinister reasons. Either they're gentrifying or they have a political agenda. I saw that with Dontre Hamilton. When there's tragedy and black people are mourning and grieving and have legitimate concerns and complaints about the criminal justice system, here they asses come trying to get us to sign these petitions for whatever their agenda is. They'll come to a funeral and ask us to sign nomination papers for their candidate. And we do it. And they have no fear. That's how little they think of us. I don't go out to white communities just because I respect them. I don't want to be out there in their business. They love being in our business. Even your white coworker. You'll be talking. You ever had this happen? Ooh, I'm about to make some of y'all mad today. Some of the whites is going to get angry. So at every job, it used to happen here at Good Karma Brand. It would be a bunch of us. And we're just talking black stuff. It'd be me and Ben and Carrie, Danielle, Kyle and Cherie, Tori. We just sitting in a group, right? We got a little common area out here at Good Karma Brands. And we would just be talking black stuff. Just blackity black. Just black stuff, right? Not caring who can hear us. First mistake. Just talking black. Then all of a sudden, here come one of the white coworkers. Hi, what are you guys? And then we just automatically stop talking. And why is it that your white coworkers always here? I'm going to use my laptop as an example. Why they always got a notebook or a clip? They always hold it like this, don't they, X? They always just kind of come in. Hi, what are you guys doing? Hey, what's up, everyone?
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, they always are carrying like their notebook, like this, like they hold it like a baby. And they always walk real fast.
I mean, we could ask one. They're right outside.
Don't bring them in here. We work for a different company. And they come, they sit, and then we get real quiet because we don't want to continue talking black. All the people that I just mentioned no longer work here, by the way. You know what else I was thinking about? Tory Lowe has won, oh God, he's got to have 25 awards. I don't think that Tory Lowe has won less than like 5 Wisconsin Broadcasters Association awards a year. And first place, Tory Lowe. And Tory used to cut up. He used to, throw his fists in the air. And the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, it's like this really super fancy annual event where all of the media in the state, all of the radio producers and the hosts, all the TV people, all the Channel 4, 6, 12, up north radio stations, up north TV stations, They all get together. It's fancy. It's a gala. It's fancy. And then you got our black asses at one table. It's hundreds of people. I mean, media in this state, there's a lot of people. And first place for best radio newsworthy segment ever, Tory Lowe, Black People in Prison. Yeah, all right then. Tory just be going up there. He won a lot of awards. I want you to, I don't win nothing. I got 2 certificates, pieces of paper for interviews with Kamala Harris, and I don't know what my other one was. It just came up in my memories, on my social media memories, like, oh, remember when I won these 2 pieces of paper? Tory's awards are made out of crystal. Dr. Ken, too. Dr. Ken got Radio Show of the Year. Dr. Ken got an award. I'm going to get back to the topic at hand. I was thinking about this stuff over the weekend because I had plenty of time because my thought weekend didn't materialize, so I turned that into productive time. I made a bunch of YouTube shorts from my YouTube channel. Oh, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, by the way. It's Hughes Views 414. Make sure you subscribe. So I did some stuff on my YouTube channel. I was just thinking, so Dr. Ken got Radio Show of the Year. Oh, I got 3rd place that one of the years for best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. 3rd place? I dare you to find 2 shows better than this, but whatever. And then I got 3rd place for my Kamala Harris. Was that a 2nd place? It might have been 2nd place for Kamala Harris. You know who I lost to? I lost to a guy that he did an interview while he was in prison about a business that I'm not kidding you. So he was in prison. He was out because he was there to accept his award. But he got best interview of the year because he was in prison and somebody interviewed him about a business he was going to start when he got out. So when he won, because of course the winner goes up and accepts their award, this dude is wearing a T-shirt, some sagging ripped jeans, and he had a chihuahua on his arm. I had a fit. Like, I had to leave. I left our table and I didn't come back. I was like, I lost the dude. So that night that was 2021. So that night, maybe it was 2020. It was 2022 because Kamala Harris, when she endorsed Mandela, that was in 22. So after the awards, we all took a bunch of pictures. Like, Tory was loaded with awards that year. Yeah, he couldn't even hold them. Benjamin had to hold all the awards that Tory got. So I left after I lost to the dude holding a chihuahua. I was like, I'm out of here. I went back to my hotel room. Because I bought a new suit because I knew I was going to get 1st place. You weren't going to tell me no different. I bought a new suit. I was looking good. I was ready. I was thinking about, was I going to give a speech? Even though you're not allowed to give speeches, I was going to give one. And so when I ended up losing the dude, I was like, I'm out of here. So I go back to my hotel room. And so at the end of the ceremony, Carrie is blowing me up. Sherwin, come back down here. Where you at? You walked away from the table. We're all taking pictures. Where you at? I ain't answering not a phone call. Because you know what I did? So I left the awards ceremony. I was mad. I lost to him. They had it out for me at the WBAs. I don't know why. I think they also would put us here at The Truth. They would put us in the same categories. Like, why am I competing against Dr. Ken for Radio Show of the Year? And then probably ultimately losing to him. So Carrie was calling me because everybody else was calling me. And Carrie is always arrogant. She's like, Sherwin will answer my phone call. I ain't answer her call either. She was actually mad at me for like 2 weeks because I made her look bad because she tells people, oh, if I call Sherwin, he'll answer. Nah, not that time. So they're calling me, blowing up my phone. You know what I was doing at the time? I'm just watching my phone, just watching them call. I wasn't even sending them the voicemail. I was like, no, I want you to get the full ring. Get the full 22 rings, however many rings it is. You're going to voicemail. I went to Five Guys, got me a double cheeseburger and a big old thing of greasy fries, and I was laying on the bed in the hotel room in my underwear while everybody was calling me to come back down and take pictures. And I felt kind of bad. I was like, you know what? I should go down there and take pictures. I didn't even get my award because when they give the categories, like, you're supposed to go over to like this table and get my award. I didn't even want it. Carrie or Ben ended up grabbing it for me. I didn't want it. So they calling me. I'm laying on my stomach. Imagine me double fisting a cheeseburger, and you got to rip the bag. So you got more surface area. So I got my fries on the bag, and I'm laying in my underwear on the bed, kicking my feet up, just eating, watching TV, grease all over the remote control. And Benjamin is calling now. Oh, who is this texting me? Oh, Cherie Harris texting? Nope. I'm not going to get dressed and degrease myself and go back down there and take photographs. Here's the part that's perplexing, and I told you I went all the way around the block to get next door. The people that were the most award-winning and decorated hosts on 101.7 The Truth for years running, okay, are no longer on the air. And the person who won the least awards, like right now, as far as OGs go, it's me and Zach. That's real sad. I don't like that at all because we developed some talent here. No shade to the new people, but we built something here that I thought was real durable, and I was proud of it. And some of the people, and Carrie even won, because she said in one of the years, she was like, I'm going to win social media personality of the year. And that's a real category. And she won the next year. I mean, she put her foot in it, making all that content for us, and Carrie is not here anymore. So there's something, I always thought the WBAs were, I don't want to say fixed. They're going to hate my ass. No, they don't give me awards anyway. Because it never equated to, so if you won a Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Award, you would think that you would get way more listeners, way more publicity, way more notoriety. Your audience would grow. Advertisers would be throwing all sorts of money and commercials at you, and you'd get sponsorships, and you would be a celebrity spokesperson. None of that happened. So I'm thinking to myself, it's not even worth anything. No shade to the people that won the awards, because it still feels good to have your name called. They didn't even call my name. My name was just up on a screen. You had to read it yourself. Derrick Rose was the MC one year, and I remember when Tory Lowe won whatever. Derrick Rose, when he announced that Tory Lowe won, he was like, hey, Tory Lowe's the winner. I was like, oh, man. I wish somebody would say, hey, and announce my name. They didn't even read my name. It was you had to read it yourself. No, I want someone to read it for me. Read Sherwin's name out loud. It was just up there on the screen for like 2 seconds. I couldn't even take a picture of my name if they just flashed it. Third place, Sherwin. He was bloop, bloop, gone.
What's your ad lib?
I don't think I have one. I got some hotkeys in there.
I was going to say, blame Whitey.
I'm usually more descriptive. I got to give people reasons why to blame Whitey, because we as black people, we pretend we don't like white folks. We love them. We want them to love us. That's why we welcome them in. We just think that if they see how we really are, that they're going to be less racist. Opposite. They will become more racist when they see how good, how smart, how creative, and how talented we are. They become more racist. So what we do is we put our best foot forward to show out for them. And they just think like, damn, I hate these blacks, because they have thrown everything they can at us, everything, to make sure that we're not successful. And I would argue they're still doing a pretty good job, because our kids can't read. Our adults can't read. I'm going to be real honest with this. When you guys are commenting on social media, why you got a 14-paragraph response, you ain't used not nan piece of punctuation. And if you do use a piece of punctuation, why everything an exclamation point? That's bad grammar. Everything is not an exclamation. I went to the store today. I bought some grapefruit. Why you got an exclamation point as your only punctuation? And they'll say, oh, well, Sherwin, when people are commenting on social media, they're intentionally using abbreviations and shorthand and phonetic spelling. No, they're not. That's how they actually write. Because why would you do that? Because if you're using abbreviations and if you're using shorthand, that becomes your normal communication habit, because those are bad habits. And if you are writing something for an employer, or if you have to submit a writing sample, you really want to know if you have a decent employee or not, have them submit a writing sample, because most jobs are going to need someone to be able to communicate clearly, not just with your mouthpiece, communicate clearly in writing. You might have a $47 million deal, and then you got somebody using slang and abbreviations. Like, that's offensive to me, but it also shows these parents can't teach their kids literacy because they don't know it themselves. And I have all this conversation about, oh, we got to bring jobs to the community and people need jobs. Yes, absolutely. But if we're not academically equipped for those jobs, then the jobs are going to go to somebody else. What have we learned? We've learned that the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association awards aren't really worth a lot.
Agreed.
But I'd rather have people get something out of this program that listen every day than somebody that I don't know from somewhere else listening to my work and then judging it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's take a break, shall we? Get back on track. I just went off on a tangent. You got to do that every now and again. I got to clear my head. It keeps me sane.
It made sense to me.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Sometimes, you know what, X? Sometimes it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Me and you against the world. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Make your home and family safer by properly getting rid of nasty chemicals and fire hazards. MMSD's Home Hazmat program offers 3 drop-off centers that are open all year long. It's fast and easy. You don't even have to get out of your car. And it's free to visit a drop-off. Lithium-ion batteries, old gas, propane tanks, they take all of that and more. For a list of things you can and cannot bring, locations and hours, go to MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only. No businesses.
Don't let summer pass you by. Turn it all the way up at Summerfest. The music, the moments, the memories you'll replay all year long. Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance. June 18th through 20th, June 25th through 27th, and July 2nd through 4th. Your soundtrack to summer starts here. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds. Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let me be clear. Oh, I get awards. I just don't get awards from white people. I've got a Urban League Community Service of the Year award. Not that I need to go through all of them. I'm on the Hall of Fame, the Wall of Fame at Brown Deer High School. That was given to me by a black lady. Brown Deer is black school. No, it's only like 3.5 white kids at Brown Deer. Y'all ran all the white folks out of Brown Deer. I remember when we was outnumbered at Brown Deer. It was 70 black kids total in the school. Now it's 7,000. Urban League, Lena Taylor gave me like a state proclamation. I got a bunch of stuff. One of y'all, you never told me who it was. It's beautiful. It's like this. It's a big crystal and it's engraved and it's got like everything I've ever done. They talked about like my radio show, The Forum was on there. Like it was all etched on this piece of crystal. And whoever you are, thank you so much. That award means more to me than anything else. And they sent it here. I don't know who sent it because it didn't say who it was from. It was very nice. Yeah, black people give me awards, but it means more. If I got a bunch of awards from white people, I'd have to question my existence. There was 1973 maybe. Marlon Brando won an Oscar and didn't accept it. You know what he said? He said, I don't like the Zionists taking over Hollywood. I don't want their goddamn award. I was like, ooh, because the Oscar, poof, you write your ticket with an Oscar. He was like, I don't want it because of the Zionists taking over Hollywood. So, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to consider the source. What's their criteria? Like, what do you have to? I'm very curious because if I look at some of the shows that have won, it's stuff I wouldn't listen to. I don't like talk radio. I don't. I never have. So I have to make talk radio for people that don't like it. Like, what would I want to listen to? I said, all right, well, if I don't like it, because why would you sit and listen to another person? No, please don't go away. I want you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Because I try to, provide information and, demystify stuff because a lot of things that are happening to us that other people have orchestrated. And we as black people, I think we still think that they mean well, and they don't. They mean harm. Nobody sees the urgency to what is happening to black children because the crime that you see, that's low performance in school, low academic performance, low opportunity, not a lot of hope. If you can't read, the world is a scary, scary place. And all they're doing is telling us, oh, your kids can't read. Can we have more money, even though we bear some responsibility on why your kids can't read? Can you give us more money? And then we'll say, okay, cool. We will, but will the kids be able to read better if we give you more money? And they say, probably not, but give us more money anyway, because then we can always say your kids can't read and we can use that as an excuse to get more money from you. And what do we say? All right. If it must be that way. I think that our community is worth being prideful about. It ain't much, but it's ours. You ever have an old raggedy car? I'm sorry, I can't relate. I like to drive nice cars. What do you want from me? But you know what? People might talk mess about your car, but that car gets you from point A to point B. It gets you where you need to go. You love your little trusty rust bucket. You even got a name for it. You love that car. You get mad somebody talk about your car. Ain't that something when somebody who don't even have a car will talk mess about yours? Why didn't you get the V8? How come you didn't get the one with all the options? How come you didn't get the sunroof? You better be glad I ain't got no sunroof, because if I had a sunroof, I'd eject your ass right out of it. Speaking of sunroofs, did y'all hear about the lady that was at a family picnic and she shot a pistol in the air through her sunroof with her baby in the car? And the police tracked down a vehicle and searched the vehicle and found a shell casing in the car. You know what I think should happen? She should lose custody of her child. I dare you to argue with me on that one. I'll fight you on that. You gonna bust a pistol out of your sunroof with your child in the car? You shouldn't be a mother. I guess they should give her a choice. You want to do 18 months, or we give you 5 years of probation and we take your baby. That'll get your mind right. All right, where am I at here in my life? I'm gonna get back on track. Imagine 100 teenagers or young adults who are unemployed. If 20 or 30 of them gain legitimate jobs paying enough to make work worth showing up for, researchers find 1, fewer thefts, 2, fewer burglaries, 3, fewer robberies, 4, fewer arrests, 5, fewer court cases, and 6, fewer incarcerations. Because legal income competes with illegal income. How many property crimes does one good job prevent? Like, this is real detail. That is why I take issue when somebody from somewhere else that doesn't have our best interests in mind come into our community and shout down information that we need to make a decision on development. Because when we have development and we have jobs, whether they be short-term or long-term, crime goes down in our community. So we have to have some kind of development and some kind of job creation. Here's the other thing. It's not going to be the jobs that we always want, because the jobs that we always want, we can't get. Some of y'all go on LinkedIn and look at a salary for $300,000 and just apply for it anyway. You ain't going to get that job. I posted something over the weekend. Y'all got mad at me. I don't know what makes people mad anymore. I think people just want to get mad at something. I essentially said, beggars can't be choosers. If there is little to no development taking place in your community, you have to accept to some extent what people are willing to put there and just try to make it work. Even though it may not be your ideal, it really is better than nothing, because with something we can build on top of that. Because we need a project to start, and then other opportunities arise. But we have to let something start, even if it's not the most desirable. I want y'all to buy houses. The house that you buy, your first house, maybe it's your starter house. That ain't the house you're going to retire in, but I need you to start and build some equity, build up your credit a little bit. Then a couple few years, you sell that house, you got a little money in your pocket. Now you have an opportunity to buy a bigger house. You got to start somewhere. We just want all the developments to just be perfect and 10 million square feet and every job pays $300,000 a year. You can get to that, but we are so far behind that we have to at least lend an ear to someone that is willing to take a hell of a risk on us. Got to start somewhere. Maybe it comes from when I was growing up. My mother cooked. Unless she was mad, then the family starves. But for the most part, if she was happy, my mom was cooking. I may not have liked what she prepared. Do you think that she threw that meal in the garbage to appease me? She did not. You eat or you starve. Sometimes if you have nothing, there's no opportunity, no jobs, no businesses, and no development. Sometimes you have to take what you can get. Now, if it was up to me when I was a kid, I would have ate McDonald's cheeseburgers and French fries and an orange soda for every single meal. Not if somebody else is feeding you. And if you are dependent on someone else, and we're dependent now. And also all the developments that come into our community, they can't be government funded. Oh, well, we want the library and we want the affordable housing. That is a further drain on our tax resources. We need something that is going to produce income, produce revenue, and produce property taxes. Stop filling a black community with nonprofits. There's no hope for us because that's draining more money out of the city's resources that we need to invest in fixing the streets. We forgot all about the lead pipes. We said, screw that. Got these same folks over here talking about, oh, the environment is going to be damaged if you put the computer server data center over at Midtown, but you don't care about lead pipes? Shut up. That makes me so sick. I got to take a break, come back and talk to Sandra on the other side. For every 100 sustained, decent-paying jobs created for high-risk youth and young adults can prevent property crimes every year. One good job may prevent crime each year. 100 jobs may prevent 20 to 50 property crimes a year. 1,000 jobs across a community can have visible positive impacts in police statistics. So when we are saying no to developments, even though you don't like the development, then you be the one to decide that you don't like the development, not an animal rights activist or the PSL, the Party for Socialism and Liberalization. All they want you to do is dye your hair pink and be fat. That wasn't nice. But that's probably what they want. They want us, and everybody wears fishnets, men and women. That's their fashion statement.
I like fishnets.
On men?
Oh, no, on women.
I mean, if a dude come over to me wearing fishnets, I'm like, hey, buddy, not interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Sherwin, I'm here to tell you that the development in your community is bad. Okay? Pardon me, sir, because you know when you wear fishnets, like stuff gets caught on the fishnets. Like you walk past and all of a sudden your button got caught. Now you're over here attached to the fishnet guy. Sherwin, it looks like we're attached. You better come with me to the next socialism meeting. Ha 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 ha, Sherwin. I think not, Mrs. Mr. Lady, man, lady. You don't like how I talk? Stay out of my community.
Non-binary would be the
non-binary. That's not even a thing.
Or gender fluid.
Gender fluid is what you need to get a towel for after you're done being a thought. To me, that's what gender fluid is.
No, gender fluid is like, sometimes you feel like a man and sometimes you feel like a woman.
That's not my definition. Where you got a towel? Go get the towel. I got to wipe up our gender fluid. That's what that is. I got to take a break before I get canceled. Talk to Sandra on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Denied VA benefits or Social Security disability? Hurt on the job or an auto accident? Tayback Law fights for people who deserve better. Veterans benefits, Social Security, personal injury, and workers' comp. They don't stop fighting until you get what you're owed. And you don't pay unless they win. Get Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com. That's TABAK attorneys.com.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Bass line. This goes hard. Wait, let's talk to Sandra. Hi, Sandra. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you today?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
I was listening, as always. I heard you speak about awards. I think these people don't like history. You give complete history of as to where we got here, how we got here, and a lot of history about black people in general. They don't like that. They want to lure people into the Republican Party so they can keep snatching out of the city, because every city is decimated the same way, every central city with black people. And this was planned years ago. And like these plants, like I retired from Allen Bradley. They told people that they hired in 72 they were moving out. So these people have things planned for years and years and years where they want to be, about this time. They knew where they wanted to be at this time. Now you got your automation, your robotics and all this coming in. They're not going to need all these people. And I saw where foreign people are coming in here and they're studying what areas that they will need in America. And they are studying those areas and coming in here and getting those jobs. So now I see where we got to get our kids taught some kind of way, because when I was going to school here, we had to watch Spanish on TV. And we studied health and all that stuff. We studied wood shop and all this kind of stuff where we could be able to do stuff and advance in it. And now I see, like I say, they're closing the schools. They're doing all this stuff to make everything very negative in the city. And so I'm thinking, even though we have radio, and they love to hear this bickering, and they don't want to hear knowledge on the radio, because you got to keep somebody small so they'll never rise to the top to try to take over. But anyway, I'm looking at all of this, and I'm just seeing, even when the stores moved out, Boston store, clothes are on the floor. I mean, they started making them out of China and all of this stuff. The buttons fall off, the zippers fall off. And they said, we wanted cheap stuff. I didn't want that cheap stuff. But I knew sewing. So I knew it was cheap. But anyways, I want to say one more thing. The plant, you were talking about the meat packing plant. My dad worked for Albert Trussell years ago, and that was a leather tannery. They made it out of, the meat, the skin of the cows and whatever. But, I mean, he really smelled. I mean, it stinks. But he never complained, because my dad was a hard worker. He worked from Allen Bradley to American Motors. And my mom never had to work. But anyways, I wanted to just say that meat packing plant, they wanted to do it in Franklin. And Franklin denied it. So why did Franklin deny it?
The opposition was so strong in Milwaukee that Franklin didn't want the controversy. So we set the tone here in Milwaukee, because the Franklin people were like, wait a minute. If those poor, broke, penniless, jobless Negroes in Milwaukee don't want it, well, then we don't want it either. Mm-hmm. An agenda of people that just are anti-development in the black community set such a negative tone about the meatpacking plant. You know what it was, Sandra? It was animal rights activists. And so I asked a question today in our YouTube poll, how many that participate in this show are actual animal rights activists? And the number is shockingly low. Only 22% say they're animal rights activists. Yet animal rights activists came into the African-American community and told us that a meatpacking plant is cruelty to animals when 95% of black people eat meat every single day. Not only that, how many of our folks worked at Patchwick Cudahy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they
just don't want development here, because development can lead to us being more financially independent and gaining more and more opportunities, and they don't want that. And so to something you said earlier, you said, oh, they want us to join the Republican Party. I think the Republicans want to suppress the black vote. So there's no active recruiting of black people. If there is active recruiting of black people, it's weak and it's very low because Donald Trump makes it difficult. I think that they want us to be politically dumb so that a liberal group or a progressive group can come in here and influence black people, because the black vote is very important. The Republicans win without it, so their motivation is to suppress the black vote, where ultra-liberal groups and democratic socialists are telling black people, oh, come and vote with us. Oh, don't worry about all that black stuff. That racial stuff is in the past, because they don't want to deal with race either. They want us to look past race and just look at quote-unquote working class things. There is not a single economic or social or political issue in this nation that black people are involved in where race is not a dominant factor. But because these ultra-liberals are majority white and just as racist as any Republican, they seem to think that they have inroads in our community because they all voted for Obama and Kamala Harris. So it's a little bit more nuanced and complicated than people make it out to be. But I appreciate your call, Sandra.
Okay, I'm listening, so I'll be listening on.
Right,
okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your call. When we are seeking information, that is when their alerts go up, because they want to stop the flow of information to our community, because that is where we gain independence. And they're starting very early. I mean, look, our kids can't read. I'm never going to get off of that because nobody seems to care. And if our kids can't read, then there's a whole other generation that are going to grow up with parents that are also functionally illiterate. And we are much more likely to respond emotionally instead of factually and objectively to proposals coming our way. Because if you can't read, the world is scary. Everybody's coming to take advantage of you. And they are. You would think that these white folks would be afraid of the black community because of all the crime. Because when they go to town hall meetings to shout down our elected leaders, they're not afraid of those black folks because they know that those black people are honest, hardworking, and decent and are legitimately seeking information. Black folks that go to town hall meetings aren't the ones that are bringing the guns. And we are devoid of information, and that is where they are taking advantage of us. They have zero respect for our community. If anything, let us have the conversation. Let's let the people from the city come in. Let's let the alderperson talk. We will make our own decision, and the project is probably going to get voted down. And quite honestly, at this point, it should, because if we're going to be a community that's going to let white folks that we don't know, that have no credibility, they don't show up any other time. They only show up when we have a potential opportunity. And if they don't like the opportunity, they're trying to tell us we shouldn't like it either. That's wild to me, because we're listening to them folks. Let us get the information, then we'll make a decision on whether it's good for the community or not. And they should just accept and respect our decision. But they don't want to do that because there's no respect to begin with. And the fact that they're welcome. There used to be a time where black folks only relied on other black people because we didn't trust them. Well, y'all trust them all of a sudden? I didn't get that memo. I see what they do to us every single day. I see what they do to high-performing black people every day. They shun you. And that's how they think. I'm going to take a break, come back, talk to Diane on the other side. Maybe Diane's got some good stuff to say to us. We'll find out when we talk to her. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I told you we should ride with the windows open. How you gon' roll if you scared of Doja? Kept you on the side, tried to keep it kosher. Play on, play on.
In hour 3, which is coming up, I want to share with you some of the challenges. Some are obvious, some are hidden when it comes to even having a conversation about development on the north side, where development has been lacking for 30, 40, 50 years. There's a whole bunch of challenges that we don't see. So when there's someone or something that wants to come in and at least have a conversation with us, they are aware of those challenges and they're willing to overlook them. And we need to be mindful, because really, at the end of the day, money is very conservative, and where it invests, it wants to see a return on its investment. And what we have seen very recently is everything is closing. Things that could make money are closing. CVS's are closing, and the Walgreenses are closing, and the Walmart's are closing. How do you get someone to want to come into a place in a space in a geographic area of the city where everything else is closing? We got to hear these folks out now. Don't just be against a proposal to be against it. Don't just be against it because somebody with pink and purple hair and a nose ring is against it. In fact, I'm likely to be for it if I see who's against something. Let's talk to a patiently waiting Diane. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, Sherwin. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind, Diane?
Well, Sherwin, I keep thinking about the Midtown project and how everything went last week, and I question whether or not there were flyers or something, or some kind of information distributed in the neighborhood to make those people aware that this meeting was coming up and what the project was all about in detail, so that they could make a decision without these outsiders coming in, making a decision for them.
The community was notified.
So,
the alderperson probably used a list of people that actively vote. So of the 50+ thousand people in the district, maybe 3,000 may have been notified. So not everybody.
So you think it's via email?
Regular mail. Because you'd have to be signed. So most people should. So your alderperson has got an email list. You can sign up for it. Now, most of us don't do it. But if you want to know everything that's happening, every opportunity, every town hall meeting, every proposed new liquor store coming into the community, it's called e-Notify. And you go to the city's website and you can get alerts whenever your alderperson or the mayor is doing things, whenever things that are happening. But when it comes to town hall meetings and information distribution gatherings, the alderperson will usually send a postcard in the mail to people who are actually registered voters. Because you can't send it to everybody because it'd be too expensive.
Yeah,
Do you live in the second district?
I do not. And I live in a district where they're putting up all kinds of things, and I don't get notified.
Who's your alderperson?
Westmoreland.
All right. Sign up for his
Yeah,
e-Notify.
they got like they have like a Fun City place, that building that they just built over like 103rd and Silver Spring. I wasn't notified of that. I just saw the sign on the building. So yeah, I'll sign up for that.
Certainly sign up for e-Notify, but there are some projects where they're not going to tell the whole community, because there's some things that just are going to get done because the economic opportunity is just too great. And whenever you put some notifications out, you're always going to get the naysayers out. But if there's somebody agreeing to come in, a certain amount of jobs, are going to pay a certain amount of money in property taxes, and that land is available and vacant, a lot of times the alderperson will just support it. It'll go to committee. It'll go to the full council, and things will get built. So not every decision that our elected leaders make goes through a public hearing process. If there's something that could be a little more controversial, where the alderperson is literally seeking public input, then they will go out of their way to notify the public. But we would be overwhelmed if we got notified of every single shovel that went into the ground to build something or construct something, or every single development project. But you can sign up for e-Notify, and you can get inundated with things going on in your representative's office.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I will do that. And then one last thing, I want to talk about the upcoming governor's election. I am a baby boomer. I've voted mostly all of my life. I know I'm getting ready to get bombarded with all of these advertisements with these different people who are running. I'm going to be going with David Crowley. It's because I've been knowing him for years. He does a good job. I don't know if he's doing too good with his with his campaign, but as of now, right now, that's who I think. Well, I just think he would be a good governor, and that's what I'm going to go by.
Sounds simple
Unless
enough to
something
me.
changes.
All right,
Yeah.
Diane.
Unless something changes. All right.
Thank you for your call. Ain't nothing going to change. Not much is going to change. We are going to get bombarded. Sarah Rodriguez, the current lieutenant governor, I think she won the straw poll. But don't let that fool you, because guess who won the straw poll at last year's Democratic convention? David Crowley. He's in fourth place in this most recent straw poll. But straw polls don't mean anything anyway, because it's the party faithful, mostly who live in Madison, that vote in the damn straw polls. I guess we'll talk about the governor's race in hour 3. We're going to have a packed hour 3. Make sure you stay tuned to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Live the high life this summer and enjoy every moment with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life. If you've got the time, they've got the beer. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, a Milwaukee Black media company.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We've been going on a bit of a journey today. You would think that the whites are afraid of going into the black community because they say as much whenever they're commenting on a news story of a shooting or an act of violence in the community. They talk about how bad the neighborhoods are. Oh, they're glad they moved out of Milwaukee. But for some reason, when members of the African-American community are genuinely curious and concerned and want more information about a development project, they then are no longer afraid of the black community and they'll swoop in to try and get us to change our mind. When was the last time you saw a public meeting, a public hearing, or a town hall where there is a potential development? Whether it be the Strauss meatpacking plant 6 years ago, or the proposed ideas for Northridge as well, and the proposed ideas for Midtown. When have you seen a white group come in and support something? You haven't, have you? I'm sorry I didn't give you time to answer. I want you to think. When have they ever come into our community supporting something? And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe they have been supportive of other developments and other projects in the black community where they don't live, where they don't work, and where they'll be damned if they send their kids to school. Maybe they have been supportive. But if the only time they come in here with their blue and pink and purple hair and their nose rings and everybody's wearing fishnets and wearing black combat boots, if they're always opposed to something, you got to wonder why that is. How come you don't want us to have anything? Why are you always opposed to everything? What are you for? Because it is political. They're coming in and they're shouting and yelling and screaming and shouting down our elected leaders, which no one should stand for in the first place. Even if you don't like your alderman or alderwoman, you, the constituent, the resident, the voter, you yell at your alderperson. Not some troglodyte who lives somewhere else. Who hold on now. Who is you yelling at our people for? We yell at our people. We just let them come in and just, let's listen to what these people have to say. If I'm being kind of mean to the blue and the pink and the purple haired people. I am.
Yeah, you kind of are being very, very mean.
Yeah, they mean to us though. I get
Really?
accused of that quite a bit. Like, oh, Sherwin. I love when a white person calls me racist. Because that means I need to go further. Like, y'all don't know what racism is. First of all, I can't be racist. I would never use my platform to like put in measures to make it harder for white people to vote. Like, I'm not calling for white people to lose their congressional districts. So shut up with the racist stuff. You're just proving how stupid you are. And we as black folks, we need to do a better job of running circles around stupid white people, but we don't. They try to take advantage of stupid black folks all the time, and they win. But they'll say something ignorant like, oh, Sherwin, you should be bringing people together. Why don't you use your platform to bring people together? You want me to use my platform to bring people together and your white ass won't go to Juneteenth Day? Word? Like it's my responsibility? Shut up. That's why you eat stovetop stuffing. It's not that bad. It isn't, X. It's not. Stovetop is not horrible. Like in a pinch, if you need a quick fix, quick snack, quick accoutrement to your chicken.
Blasphemy.
I mean, hold on now. Wait, everybody needs to relax. Let's not get bent out of shape. It's not nauseatingly disgusting. It's very quick. You can make it in like 5 minutes. It's not horrible. It's not old-fashioned cornbread dressing, which takes all day to make. You can get you some stovetop in 4 minutes and 98 seconds.
Out of all the things you've ever said,
yes,
that's the most questionable thing I've ever heard.
That was the most questionable? Oh, listen longer. I'll say many more questionable things. It's not gross. Do I prefer it? No. If desperate times call for desperate measures, like if I'm stuck in a bomb shelter because Donald Trump puts us in World War III, like, Sherwin, you're safe here in the bomb shelter. All we have to eat is stovetop stuffing. All right, well, could be worse.
Well, if it's in that situation, yes, but I don't know too many people that are walking past the stovetop and grabbing it off the shelf in the grocery store.
Somebody buying it. I'm just saying.
The whites.
Making very good dressing is an art form that takes about 10 years to perfect. Because if you've had bad homemade dressing, it makes you want to fight somebody. I think if you eat, no, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you should.
No, I shouldn't.
What?
I'm just saying if you eat bad soul food in general, it may turn you off to an incredible genre of cuisine, right? So eating some bad soul food, like, oh, I don't ever want to eat this ever again. Stovetop is not. It's nobody's number one. Everybody would always rather have homemade, but nobody knows how to cook anymore. When this last generation, like when my mother's generation is done, I don't know. In my family, we're okay because my cousin has got like 3 daughters. So we still will be able to carry on soul food traditions in my family for the foreseeable future. But for a lot of y'all families, once Big Mama's go, y'all ain't even got Big Mamas no more. Big Mama kept the family in order. Y'all don't got Big Mama. Big Mama could cook. You know the Big Mamas with the fat arms. You know what I mean? You just know that macaroni and cheese is good if them arms is fat. They call everybody baby. Oh, I love it. They're so warm and friendly. I mean, they'll kill you. Like, they'll cut you, but they'll sew you back up. They're kind of duplicitous. Big mamas, they're like these strong, that's the strong black woman. Now a strong black woman is just angry. Big mama had reason to be angry. She had to fight for freedom. I also want to make a distinction because I think that we are very loose with the derogatory term, quote unquote, boomers. That's white folks stuff. White folks hate their mamas and their dads. That's why white kids kill their parents. Oh, you're a boomer. My boomers, my generation, fought Jim Crow. So when you had that boomer conversation, you're talking about white folks, not my people. My black boomers provided opportunity and sacrifice so that we can take it all for granted right now. It's white boomers y'all got an issue with. So don't lump black boomers as different. They was fighting for different stuff. And white boomers were the racists and the segregationists. Oh, you're just a boomer. That's white folks. White people are beefing with each other. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Let them beef. Remember, when white folks get mad at each other, they kill each other. They start wars. They get the whole country involved. No, let them. I ain't got nothing to do with what white folks want to do. If they got some leftover stovetop stuffing, I'll eat it. But, I'm not involved in I don't care about their beefs. Why we got to get involved in it? A lot of liberals and conservatives be in the same family sometimes, and they hate each other. You're not coming to freaking Thanksgiving anymore. And all of a sudden, Sherwin shows up. Hey, y'all got some extra stovetop? Rubbing my hands together. I'll take a spoonful of stovetop. Let's talk to... Hello, Linda. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Professor, and to all the beautiful MPM Black members of the world. See, I got to give me a logo to get started. But no, I'm so excited that you are just, hitting all the buttons. I am just elated here. I just came in from watering the flowers and the grass, and I'm couldn't wait to get up here to call because it is about culture and economics. Their economics are different than ours. And so I think people think they have an illusion that, they can go in and assimilate into another culture and project their, what have you, onto another culture, not really understanding the economic needs we call the ghetto needs in our culture. So, yeah, I think it's a misunderstanding about culture and misrepresentation of culture needs. And I like to say this, too. I like how you're breaking it down and showing how, the bias in each culture, emboldens them to, assimilate in other cultures. Because each culture is different and they have different needs in a city, in an urban city. So I would like to say also, please, somebody, get in touch with Crowley. That is a horrible picture. Black Milwaukee wants something more intellectual and ideological that represents us. You know what I'm saying? That tends to have some, Sambo type of connotation. And we want something more intellectual, more ideological in a picture. And I know that they can do that. So let's challenge them to be more intellectually creative with how they represent us through Crowley. Okay?
All right.
That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate your call. He had it as his, so the picture she's referencing, if you go to, I did a video on it, my YouTube channel. And I clipped Al's call because he called into my program that I do at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Hughes Views 414, and Al gave his sentiments on this newly designed logo for David Crowley, where he basically, his facial features have been muted and he's blue, and all you see is the rim of his glasses and his teeth. It's very Black Americana-ish, like one of those racial stereotypical minstrel show depictions. He had it as his main picture. He removed it because he got some heat, because I talked to him on Friday night, and he did take some heat, not just from us, but from other people that also didn't like how that generated image didn't represent him. But whether he takes the photo down or not, early voting starts in 5 weeks, y'all. It's too late for him. And I love David. But campaigns and candidates. So imagine this. You know how we talk about a political climate? Let's look at the political climate like it's the weather. Some political climates are really sunny and warm and pleasant. Other political climates are freezing cold with snow and icy roads. Some political climates are just, mild temperature, maybe a little bit of light rain. Maybe the forecast is kind of all over the place. Real hard to plan your picnic or real hard to plan for the weekend because the forecast is kind of inconsistent. Candidates and their campaigns exhibit one kind of weather condition. So there are some candidates and campaigns they're dressed for the cold weather. Like, oh, everything is going to be terrible, and we got to bundle up, and we got to make sure that we have all the things we need because there's a blizzard coming. We got to get snow shovels and snow blowers, and we got to get the salt to melt the ice. But then as they're running their campaign dressed for cold weather, the political climate might be sunny. And what the candidate can't do on their own is they can't change the political climate. They just have to have a campaign and have a candidate that's dressed for the weather. You understand me? So if our political climate right now is horrendous tornadoes and hurricanes, you can't have a candidate that's planning a day at the beach. And they're kind of stuck and fixed in how they are dressing for the weather, but the political climate is what they really need to be prepared for. Now, because when they start their campaigns a year out, sometimes 2 years out, they're basing their campaign and the style in which they're going to deliver their speeches and their policy based on the weather at the time, and the weather at the time of the election may be different. So you might say, oh, the economy is great and inflation is going down. If you started your gubernatorial campaign when inflation was coming down and prices were coming down and Walmarts weren't closing yet and CVS's weren't closing yet, and you're like, oh, things are going to be great. And that becomes the theme of your campaign. But then as you are going through your campaign and you're traveling, you're talking about this very optimistic political climate, things can go south quick. Jobs are laying people off. Corporations are closing their headquarters all over the place. And here you are, the rosy, bright optimist. Your campaign is dressed for sunny weather, and all of a sudden it's snowing, and now you're not a fit for the current political climate. And it's very, very hard to create a campaign that is going to be dressed for the weather of what the political climate is. That's why it's usually a good thing when you have 7 candidates, because you got 7 different styles of dress. Each of them can be prepared for different kinds of political weather and political climate. Does that make sense to you? Now, here's where I'm going to give Francesca credit, okay? Francesca's campaign is rain, sleet, snow, hurricane, tornado, tsunami, tidal wave, avalanche. It is about as versatile and as flexible as far as how it is communicating to people. She's hitting all the marks. I even seen her. They show footage of her cheering for the New York Knicks, and it was authentic.
She's the real deal.
Hold on, man. Relax. She's one of these socialists. She need to get her people in check, because some of her faithful, now I don't think she's sanctioning this, but some of her faithful are out knocking on doors in the black community and telling black voters that David Crowley sold out the black community. That's fact. And Ryan Clancy is behind a lot of this mess. I don't like that. I don't like, because these white folks, especially the ultra liberals, they think that black people are so desperate and so destitute that they can tell us anything. Don't be for this project because we're not for it. Hey, your black leaders are selling you out. But doesn't that make sense how they would also come to a town hall meeting in Midtown and then shout down the black representative there? They even had a constituent of the 2nd District. I don't want to say her name because I'm tired of dragging her, but she's such a good example. She lives in the 2nd District, didn't know who her alderperson was, but then had the nerve to say, talking about Mark Chambers, who is as black as you could possibly be. Mark Chambers will wear like African dashikis, like black, proud of his blackness. And then this one particular person who lived in the 2nd District but didn't even know she lived in the 2nd District, didn't even know who her alderperson was, talking about Mark Chambers, all skin folk and kinfolk. I'm like, are you insane? You gonna let white folks tell you who is and who isn't black? Like, I get real mad at that. Like, why do we listen to them? Don't y'all know that they hate our guts? Even the ones that come in peace still will manipulate black people to their benefit, because that's what whiteness does. And they do it just as a matter of fact. It's not even mean on their part. It's like, hi, how are you? Here, come on in, have some stovetop. And you look, you're like, hey, why is there a rope hanging from that hook in the living room? Oh, that's for you later, but don't worry about that. So you want to play a game of sheep's head? You want to play a game of euchre? I mean, yeah, I guess. But I'm really concerned about that rope. Oh, stop it. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry. It's fine. Just leave it up there. You'll get to see that rope in a little while. That'll just be so pleasant. That's what they do, and we get fooled by that because we want to believe that they're nice like we are. And black people are actually very nice. We're a little guarded sometimes. We're a little jaded, but you know what it takes to break through that? I shouldn't say this. If a white person knows like some rap lyrics and can dance a little bit, we're like, oh my God, you're welcome at the cookout. Like that's theatrics. They can do certain things to impress black people, and the bar is really low. Like, oh, Sherwin, she did the electric slide real good. Full disclosure, I'm gonna out myself right now. I don't know how to do the electric slide. Why do you do the turn? Why do you, everything is dun 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 dun. You can do it. It's electric, and then you kick your foot. I have tried so many times, every wedding, because I don't want to be the only person not knowing how to do the electric slide. I don't care if it's a black wedding, a white wedding, an Italian wedding, a Jewish wedding, a Lutheran wedding, or a Catholic wedding. They play the electric slide. And the bride is out there, the groom is out there. There's always a really thick bridesmaid. Like the seams are busting on her dress. There's always a thick one now. Everybody's out there doing the electric slide. And so, okay, I'm going to get out there. Because you figure if it's a lot of people out there, they can't tell that I can't do it. Yes, they can. Because when that kick and that turn comes, I knock people over like bowling pins. You can't do it. It's electric. Boom, boom, bang, 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 smack, 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 smash, smash, smash. I don't know. I can't do it.
You shouldn't be embarrassed. I shoot weddings for a living. I've been to over 100 weddings, and I don't know how to do it either.
But I imagine myself, because, you know, there's some people that do the electric slide, and there's some people that do the electric slide. They go down to the ground. They slap the ground with it. They throw that ass out. They kick them legs. I want to be one of them, because in my mind, I electric slide like that with my ass. It's an ass dance. You know what I mean? You can do it. It's electric. Boogie, oogie, oogie, oogie. And here I am over here just kicking children. Knocking over drinks, knocking over tables. Take a break, come back. I'm supposed to tell you guys about these development challenges, why it's rare and the opportunities are few and far between that we even get. Developments in the Black African American Negro 53206, 53212, 53208, parts of 53209. I can name all the black zip codes. 53224, 53233. 53218, 53210, 07, that's white folks. 04, that's South Side. Yeah, I can name them all, but it's hard to get development. I'm going to give you the details as to why that is. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Live the high life this summer and enjoy every moment with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life. If you've got the time, they've got the beer. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right, here we go.
Are you not a good dancer?
I mean, I can two-step.
Oh,
I'm over here looking like Fred Sanford about to have a heart attack trying to do this.
I'm a dancer.
No, you're not.
Oh, yeah.
You too big to be dancing, man.
Yeah, women love it.
No, hold on, man. Oh, hold on. Okay, what is this you doing? What the hell is that?
You know, just getting
like
down.
Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Bet Trump can probably electric slide.
Probably.
You know what's crazy? The blue and the pink-haired white folks that always wear fishnets and got hooks in their noses and hoops in their noses and their faces are all pierced. I bet they can do the electric slide. Sherwin, you can't do the freaking electric slide, dude. I'm blacker than ye. Watch this. And they probably can, do it.
Probably.
Having they fishnets dragging all on the ground. Watch this. I'll get real low with it, dude. And that's a woman saying it to me. Like, dude, I'll get real low with it, Sherwin.
Honestly, you'd be surprised.
My name is Tracy.
I do a lot of weddings, right?
Okay.
Majority of white folks can't dance.
Duh.
Or do the electric slide.
It must be the white folks that I know. And I've been to so many weddings. A lot of them are divorced. It starts off so well. They're all happy and everybody's all love is in the air. And they throw a big old party. Shout out to Kyle Wallace. Kyle Wallace is going to join me in studio on Wednesday. I know a lot of y'all are wondering where he is and what he's up to, and a bunch of y'all miss him. We're going to chop it up with Kyle. I want Kyle to be able to come back home, you know what I mean? Be his authentic self, because he's over there with them folks, you know what I mean?
Oh, you don't think he's acting authentic?
I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know. I know I got a couple people over there that are decent over on the other side, but I just want him to be able to come back to the truth and talk about what he has going on. He's actually getting married very soon. In fact, his wedding is in 2 weeks. I wonder if he's getting cold feet. You got to get cold feet a little bit. You got to wonder, is this what I really want to do with the rest of my life?
He's in love.
I ain't got nothing to do with it. It's a contract, bro. You give up agency, you give up title. A lot of people don't know what they all surrender when they get married. Like, oh, cool, we're in love. I love you. You love me. We're going to make it work. And then for whatever reason, if it doesn't work out, it's like marital property is anything. So there's a situation where a man inherited, his mother passed away. So they're married. His mom passed away. He was the only heir, the only sibling left. His mom left a lot of money to him. He put that money away because he wanted to put it away just for himself, for a rainy day. He wanted to put it away for the kids that he has with his wife. And it's a lot of money. And as he was working over the years, he added money to it. But the lump sum of that money was money his mama left him when she passed. He got divorced. His wife got half of it because the mama died during the marriage, and he contributed some of his income while he was married to that little nest egg he had. Half of his 401k is hers. Oh, anything that you gained and acquired during the marriage, she had her own separate bank account. Guess what? He got half of that. Oh, people have no idea. Do you know that if you are married, you can't even change your life insurance policy beneficiaries to your kids unless your wife signs off on it. Hold on. Y'all don't understand this part because nobody ever sits us down and talks about the contractual obligations of marriage. And I'm not saying don't get married, but just know what happens when it ends. A particular man had children before he married this woman, okay? He gets married. When you are married, your life insurance beneficiary, first and foremost, is going to be your spouse. He wanted to change it so that his children that are not the stepmama, right? His wife is not the biological mother of his kids. He was like, I want to leave my money to my babies. His wife had to sign off and she didn't. She was like, no, when you die, the money is mine. I decide what your kids get. And he didn't know that until he learned it in his divorce attorney's office. People have no idea what you give. You give up everything. You give up agency. You give up title. All this to not be lonely. The loneliest I've ever been in my entire life has never been when I was single, is when I was with a woman that was cold. That's lonelier than being by yourself. Because if I'm by myself, I ain't never lonely. I'll do whatever the hell. I have friends over, kick them out when I'm ready for them to go. I'll go hang out. Sometimes I don't even come home. Fellas, you ever try that? When you have a woman that you're living with, try not coming home one night. Here you go. Just tell her this. I fell asleep at my friend's house, but I was calling you. My phone died, and I fell asleep at my friend's house. You're cooked, bro.
You got some PTSD.
No, I don't. I'm just realistic about it. You go ahead and then start trusting these women. They'll eat your lunch in front of you.
Oh, yeah, I already know that. Just take everything they say with a grain of salt. I think I've said this on the show before.
Not even with a grain of salt, because I trust the salt more than a woman.
Oh,
because all she has to do is just get bored.
Well, yes.
Because it's still a dude that she ain't never letting go. I think that she cheats with the man she ultimately would want to be with but can't have. We cheat with women we ultimately don't want. You know what I mean? For us, it's just like, man, like, we don't want to marry that woman.
Yeah, you're just trying to get, your stuff out and, move on.
Gotta get the poison out.
Exactly.
It's got to get out some kind of way. The poison's got to hit it.
It sounds like you didn't get any out this weekend.
No! I did it.
Why not? It's supposed to be Silver Fox summer.
It's off to a rough start. I don't want to be rude. Okay? I'm telling you this with my heart in my hands, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to be rude because I'm a very nice guy. You ever look at somebody and you got real high hopes for them? You're willing to give them a shot. You can get along with them, whatever. You got a few things in common. And I don't know, you're just getting to know them. Ain't no big deal yet. You're just in the process of getting to know them. All right? And you ever just look at them while they're talking and just look at them and just be like, ugh, ew. I got an ew moment. I was like, she gave me the ick. I was like, yeah, you're done.
Oh.
And she didn't know it because I want him, because that's rude. If she knows I got the ick.
Did she say she's a Mandela Barnes supporter?
No, but that happened before. Not only had that happened before, this woman that I met, I think she was involved with Mandela. I was like, oh yeah, this ain't never gonna work. She was cute too. Yeah, I got the ick. Because women are gross sometimes. They just try to hide the fact that they're gross. They try to be all like, I don't know, she was just being a little too graphic and descriptive about like a stomach flu that she got. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
Oh, that turned you off? I thought you were gonna say something else.
Nah, it was some other stuff too. It was just, she just presented herself as just, I'm like, player, I don't know you like that yet. We can't talk about boo-boos yet. We ain't there yet. We can get there. Basically, the conversation was almost like having a conversation with somebody. You ever been with somebody and like they'll be in the bathroom going number 2 and the door's open and don't even matter because you in love with them. They can go number 2 with the door open. But we got to get to that point. You know what I mean? She was just too open. You got to keep.
She's probably freaky.
I don't care how freaky that is. It's disgusting. You nasty little bird.
When you're thoughting, sometimes you got to turn it off.
No, the hell, I do not. I thought at the highest levels.
Oh, okay.
I thought in the stratosphere. I thought up by SpaceX. I thought with the satellites. You understand it?
Sometimes you got to go into the slums.
No, the hell you don't. As a young man, sure, absolutely. I've done some questionable stuff. I met a girl one night on 27th and Center, and we was only sitting in the kitchen, and I heard like man sounds in the back room. Like, oh yeah, I'm getting robbed. This is a total setup. I walked out with my life that night because I just knew they were going to rob me. I was like, I shouldn't go over here.
Oh, jeez.
And the neighborhood kept getting worse and worse. And I had to walk through, you know how you have that real narrow, in city houses, you have this real narrow walkway between houses, and it was dark, pitch black. She's like, yeah, just come to the side door. I should have known. And I walk in, and there she is sitting at the kitchen, and they had she had like a sheet hanging between the doorway between the kitchen and the living room. So it was just like a sheet, not even a curtain, a sheet. And I heard like people in there behind the sheet. I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Why you leaving so soon?
Oh, you got to bring the pistol for them kind of meetups.
If I gotta bring a pistol, I don't need, because that's not what I need on my mind. I'm only bringing one kind of pistol. And trust me, that one's loaded too now. I'm not bringing the real thing. I'm bringing...
Sometimes when you're doing the late night meetups, and sometimes the girls live in some sketchy areas, so, you never know what's going to happen when you walk into your car, so you bring the strap.
I ain't going. In fact, here's what I prefer. If I'm going to do a meetup, I want her to have valet. Oh, sure, when our valet will park the car for you when you arrive. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back, talk to Al on the other side. We're going to get this conversation going, and also, hopefully, by the time the show is over. That's not the electric slide. Where's my electric slide? I guess not.
I think the song kept playing while you put it on pause, or put the volume down.
Yeah, but why is it not? Well, I got to learn how to do the electric slide. Everybody relax. Calm down. I wonder if Nitty can do the electric slide.
He's coming in. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Where's Nitty at? Did they do...
He's coming in right now.
I don't need him to come in.
Well, I guess.
Do you know how to do the electric slide, Nitty? Do you know how to do the electric slide, Zach? Okay. Nitty, you? What you mean, kind of? Ain't no kind of. It's like riding a bike. You can do it or you can't. Oh, how are you a platinum-selling rapper and you can't really... That was an electric skip. He's like, you can do it. Yeah, man. Wagwan. You can do it a little bit, man. All right, let's take a break. The show is just insane. Got Al online. Al, look, I know this is going to be a topic that you're going to want to get into, Al. I need you. He was so pleasant when he called the morning show. He was so nice. He was like, oh, peace and love to everybody. But when he called my show, you got to bust that thing wide open.
Oh, you listen to the morning show?
I listen to pieces of it.
Do you ever catch any of my colorful commentary?
Yeah, when they try and make you speak Chinese in the morning.
Yeah.
That's a setup.
Well, I'm the one that introduced that because, Beijing, China is more affordable than living in most United States cities.
It's also wickedly communist with no freedoms, no freedom of the press. The internet is censored. The food will be good, though.
Yeah, what do you think is coming to America? Palantir?
They'll kill you over there. There's no human rights whatsoever. I still have, the best freedom that I maintain, and I reject when people say, oh, Sherwin, they're taking away our freedoms. I can get on the radio and say a lot of stuff. I say stuff that my other on-air colleagues are like, Sherwin, how do you get away with that? I was like, I don't know. You should try it.
Yeah, it's great radio.
I got to take a break now. Look what time it is. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am grateful for those who changed yesterday.
But I live in today.
And I pledge I will help shape tomorrow.
Milwaukee College Prep Scholars honor Black History Month not just during February, but each and every day they walk through the door, preparing for a better life for themselves and the world around them. Enroll your scholar at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Looking for a school where scholars thrive, teachers believe, and excellence is the expectation? Milwaukee College Prep is still enrolling scholars in grades K through 8 for the upcoming school year. With 4 high-performing campuses, award-winning educators, and a proven track record of academic success, MCP is helping more than 2,000 Milwaukee scholars build brighter futures every single day. Apply today at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com or call 414-264-6000. That's 414-264-6000. When this John Legend album came out, damn near 20 years ago, man, he ain't made nothing like this since. Had to put the bonnet on for this one. Hey, Al.
Hey, how you doing? Hope you're having yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. First thing I want to let all you people know, you never go through a side door. You don't do a back door, let alone garages. That's what you call a setup. Always keep the lights on, and depending on what you're doing, never do doggy style, because we don't want nobody to be a lifetime plot or a lifetime sequel. Okay, so pay attention to where you go, and if you got to come into the side door, then that's the time for Backseat Chronicles. Now, I heard you earlier talk about how white people are afraid of the North Side. That's a lie. They ain't never been afraid of the North Side. When the lights go out, where you think they at? A lot of their husbands own property on the North Side. Some of their grandparents live on the South, on the North Side, and some of these white women are very very informed with the North Side. They're just telling you that because they want you to believe that. I can remember, I ain't going to say when, but it was like kind of recently on nighttime, I used to see a Mercedes, big body, two-door, and she was white. And she would jump out with a mini skirt on, high heels, throwing that flat back hips. And she was all on the North Side, getting that nice young tenderoni. And all I thought about was Fire and Desire by, was that Rick James and Tina Marie. Woo, 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 woo. And every time she would come on a certain night, she always picked up that young tenderoni. And she was not a sport teacher. So don't let nobody put this thing out here. They are afraid of the North Side because they know what the North Side is about. They know everything is good on the North Side, and some of them would be on the North Side if they knew their husbands wouldn't get caught and if some of the wives wouldn't get caught. You remember that part when Tina Marie be like, ooh, that's close. You remember that part? Every time I used to see that lady pick up that young black boy, and I know that boy was swinging something long as Donkey Kong. Come on. I thought about that one part. She'd be, woo, 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 woo. So don't believe they are afraid of the North Side because everything good on the North Side. It's just our people got to believe in the North Side, and they got to show up when it's time to vote and to call stuff to the forefront. So don't ever think the North Side is bad. But they know what it is. I bet you they got Tina Marie and Rick James, Fire and Desire, because, you know, when he be like, pain and pleasure, and she be, woo, that's all I think about when I see some of them with them young tenderonis. And they be riding bad, big body. Sometimes you will see an Aston Martin DBX. They don't be coming cheap. So don't let them think they're afraid of the North Side. Trust me, a lot of them grew up on the North Side, and some of their grandparents still live over here. They just want y'all to believe that they are afraid. No, they're not. But I want to, pass that information. I'm going to go on and play some of this Fire Desire because I want to hear that Tina Marie when she hit that high note, because I be thinking about that young boy hitting that spot. All right, y'all. Y'all have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And I quote the wise philosopher poet Lil Wayne. Seema. 10 keys in the Beamer. I got a white girl driving. Couldn't do it much cleaner. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on and semi-exclusively on YouTube via Hughes Views 414. There's a lot I didn't get to today because you guys kept distracting me. Trying to teach me how to do the electric slide. A little bit of a debate about stovetop stuffing. Al is right. They are not afraid of our community, and they go where the information is the lowest and the likelihood that we will be armed is also very, very low. They'll walk their way into that part of our community any time of day to manipulate us, and so far, they're winning. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Congratulations to the class of 2026.
Got a grad to celebrate? Make it easy with a Cousin Subs gift card. Buy $30 in gift cards and get a free 7.5-inch sub for you. Valid on any Deli Fresh or Classic sub. So while you're giving a great gift, you're getting one too. Simple, thoughtful, and way better than a card that gets tucked away. Stop by your local Cousin Subs today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I must have been crazy then. Remember when you used to
love them and leave them? Oh, that's what I used to do. Use and abuse them. Oh, then I laid eyes on you. It was
Life is better when you know you're covered. With a home and auto policy from American Family Insurance, you're not just buying coverage, you're getting an agent who helps you feel protected and prepared. Someone who understands what you've built and what you're building next. Because when your home and ride are protected the right way, you're free to focus on your family, your goals, and your future. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Man, listen, if you ain't, come on. Turned on, my fire, baby. You're gonna tell me they're, oh, sorry. Yeah, they probably will take this down. YouTube is actually, I think they've been fair to us lately, because I've been going crazy with the music.
No, they haven't been taking it down. It's been pretty light work.
I get carried away. Zach said, I'm not fixing that when they remove it. Today was a good show today, too.
It was.
I didn't get through. Well, how much time I got left?
5 minutes.
I can rock it out in 5 minutes. Here we go. Developers don't invest where they see the highest need, contrary to popular opinion. Developers invest where they see the highest probability of success. That distinction explains much of what has happened on Milwaukee's north side over the last 50 years. The three questions every developer asks, whether it's a factory, office building, apartment complex, grocery store, hotel, or technology company, developers typically ask 1, 2, 3 questions. 1, can I make money? 2, can I protect my investment? 3, will the project attract workers, customers, and financing? In many north side neighborhoods, especially zip codes 53205 and 53206, developers often conclude that the answer is uncertain compared with suburban and downtown locations. So they're already skeptical. And then when there's public outcry and outrage, even from people that don't live in that community, then developers they're even more shy. So it's rare that we get developments, number one, because developers can't get their three questions answered. Can I make money? Can I protect my investment? Will the project attract workers, customers, and financing? But let's set the tone. In Milwaukee, things are closing. Restaurants are closing. Shops and stores are closing. Walgreens and CVS are closing. So a developer that wants to come into an environment where things are already shutting down, it takes a lot of risk on that developer's part, and they got to convince a bank to front the money for the development. So when people from outside of our community come in and naysay the project, the developer's like, you know what? It's not worth it. And we lose out. Earlier in the program, I illustrated how if someone has a job and they have an economic opportunity, property crime goes down in some cases by 45%. So we may not be crazy about the development. We may not be crazy about the jobs because they're not the jobs that we used to have in the 20th century. But for someone, that is an opportunity that never would have existed had that development not taken root. All I'm saying is just listen to what they are offering. And some of you are going to be naysayers no matter what because you're used to having nothing. Fair enough. We're not going to take that away from you. Well, there's nothing to take away from you because you're used to having nothing. But don't diminish the opportunity for somebody else. If you're retired and you have your pension and you're doing okay financially, I get it. You may not like a development, but think about all of the people that are never going to have the opportunity that you had to work at a job for 30 or 40 years, have a nice little 401k, have a nice little pension. Don't we at least owe that to the future generations? And for your safety and security, the more people that are employed, the less crime there is. There's even less homicides. And I think back to that Strauss project at Century City, which would have created 500 jobs. There's no telling where those people would be right now. And that was 6 years ago. There are literally people that have been killed because of this lack of hope and lack of opportunity because a bunch of folks were listening to animal rights activists. Oh, let me check the YouTube poll because that's the question that I asked because the animal rights activists had a major impact on that Strauss meatpacking plant that wanted to come into Century City 6 years ago. And so I'm thinking, oh, maybe a lot of black people are animal rights activists. I know Michael Vick wasn't. Oh, relax. Animals are not people. Stop. I know you love your doggy, you little doggy. I know you love your, oh, he don't bite. He's just playing. No. Listen, you got a dog. I like little doggies. But I don't have to be okay with your little doggy jumping on my lap and licking my face. Oh, look at that. He likes you. I wish he liked me less. He likes me too much.
You don't like dogs?
I don't want nobody's kids jumping on me either. And kids use the bathroom. Dogs don't. They just poop and it come sit on my lap. Hey man, that dog, I don't need that. And then dogs lick each other and lick themselves. You know what I mean?
I got dogs.
I bet you do. Probably 5, 6 of them. How many you got?
Well, technically 1, but okay. I steal my parents' dog, so 3.
How many live with you?
1.
Does your dog have a person name, like a normal person? Because our friend Melanie Ricks, her dog's name were Mabel. Zach, what was Melanie's? Mabel and Jonathan. Mabel and Pete.
Mabel and Paul, but they both died.
Oh, damn. Both her dogs died?
Yeah, she has 2 new ones.
Of course she does. But she named her dogs Mabel and Paul because she wanted people to think that she was talking about a real human being when she was talking about her dogs.
No, my dog's name's Roscoe.
I mean, that's kind of a dog name, I guess. But, yeah, I don't want the dog jumping up on me. You got to have a well-trained, well-behaved dog. And well-trained and well-behaved kids. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'll see you later. I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been